Obi Toppin, but this is a team at Dayton. Ryan Mikesell, the senior sharpshooter. Rodney Chapman has been a key. The transfer from Chattanooga at the point. Isaiah Dees, the shooter. Saul Peary, though, he can put it up from deep for LaSalle as well. And Ashley Howard, the former Jay Wright assistant, that it's only losses in overtime. LaSalle was 2-10 at this point last year. They're 9-3, a tremendous turnaround in Ashley Howard's second season. Toppin and Croswell, an 8-10 play has begun here in Philadelphia. Dayton Flyers' #1 offense, according to efficiency across the country. #2 in assists. Keep an eye on Obi Toppin, 1 in red, in a war already with Scott Spencer. There's the first steal of the day, and it comes with a foul. That's the first on Jalen Crutcher.
And you love that, because that's exactly what Coach Ashley Howard was talking about at shoot-around this afternoon. We can be aggressive. We want to get up into Crutcher. We want to get up into Chapman and make this game ugly.
He demonstrated what they can do, by the way, when you give Dayton space. Ashley Howard still has some handles.
Oh, no question. Yeah, I don't want to line up against him one-on-one. You kidding me?
This is a LaSalle team that can score it as well. 72 a game, and the first 2 of the game. They go to the second leading scorer for the Explorers, David Beatty. This is a pressure defense from LaSalle. Get up in your grill anywhere on the court. They do it again. 2 turnovers.
You know, we kind of use the phrase trap game a lot, but the reason for it is, #1, LaSalle, a great attack to the rim. They love to rim attack, but they want to make the game physical and aggressive and ugly, and they did that in the first 6 or 7 minutes against Villanova. They appear to be doing that against Dayton. This is a team, 0 quit, a lot of confidence.
You know Dayton's not going to panic, though. That's the thing after a couple of turnovers. Air ball off the baseline for Beatty. Here comes Dayton with the tempo. Toppin will put it up from deep, and that's exactly why NBA scouts are drooling.
Yeah, if he's not skying at the top of the rim, he's pulling up in semi-transition from 3. His game fits the NBA perfectly because of the fact that he's so gifted inside and out.
He's 6'9". He dunked 10 times on Monday, Obi Toppin, and he hit 3s from the hash mark during layup lines today. It's a 3-2 Dayton lead early. First time we see Shaggy Dees with the ball. Tremendous defense. Landers gave him nothing, and that's a shot clock violation.
Trey Landers is Dayton's most physical and emotional player, and you saw it there on that play. It gave absolutely nothing to Dees. Hands in the right place, feet constantly moving, not reaching in. I love it.
How hard is that?
Very difficult to play that hard without fouling. You have to have a total commitment to your role in that space. Another turnover.
That's 3 for Dayton in 4 possessions. When they get a shot, it's going in. That's been the problem. Into Croswell for the first time. Landers guarding him.
Mismatch.
That's a mismatch.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mouse in a house type scenario that LaSalle is always going to look to exploit tonight.
Obi Toppin has LaSalle's lone bucket to 3. Watch him work down the lane, taking Dees to task. Obi Toppin. All that's left is the kitchen sink, and we will have seen it all from the man.
LaSalle worked on that in shoot-around. They know that Obi Toppin is going to get some isolation plays in the half court. That was one of those plays, and you need help side defense constantly when Obi Toppin's around the free throw line.
It's the second foul on Dayton. First on Rodney Chapman.
Here's the ISO play for Obi. Too much space. You see help side is just waiting. You can't wait with Obi Toppin when you get it in that close.
Croswell has to be more committed when he makes that decision as well, doesn't he?
It kind of feels like Croswell would be nervous about getting in foul trouble because he's so important in this game. You could say the similar thing with Obi Toppin as well. He doesn't want to be in foul trouble.
Croswell has missed a game this year. Brandon Stone plays behind him. Jumper in the middle of the lane, too strong for Dees. Offensive rebound, and a foul on Chapman. That is 2 on the point guard.
Here's a big key. Dayton is 8-0 this season when they win the rebounding battle. They're 3-2 when they don't. LaSalle can exploit that. Points in the paint, offensive rebounds. That's something that this Dayton team, who is tremendous, does struggle with. That's kind of that chink in the armor for the Flyers.
So Chapman to the bench. Ibby Watson comes in. Now, this has happened before. Chapman was in early foul trouble in Maui in the championship game against Kansas. That's a kicked ball. That worked out okay. Stayed in the thing, led in the second half, lost in overtime. Dayton.
Well, Dayton's so deep, they can play 8, sometimes even 9 players. So you lose one, and there's another turnover.
Here comes Crutcher. He has Watson with numbers. Kick it across the lane. Landers. Dayton had 4 horses out running.
I love the way that Dayton's guards just keep the game simple. If the defense commits, they're going to pass it. If they don't, they're going in for a score. I love that.
That's 3 for 3 from the floor now for Dayton. 6 possessions. When they've gotten a shot, it's gone in. Toppin another steal. Nice save as well. Mike Salle heads up. Crutcher, good dish back. Reward the big when he runs. Timeout, LaSalle. The Flyers doing just that on the road. Mike, 4 for 4 from the field.
If you're LaSalle, you have to accept that run. You know that a Dayton run is coming, especially early in the game. This is the most efficient offensive team in the country. They don't just do it with great shots, they do it with sound defense as well. So you have to accept the run and then run your offense on the other end to try and get a bucket.
Don't get too sped up if you're LaSalle. There's a foul driving. Saul Peary putting some pressure, and that's Obi Toppin's first.
And I think, you and I talked about this earlier, and we watched a couple of LaSalle games. There's no quitting this team. Whether they're up 20 or down 20, this team is going to press, play physical and aggressive. It never really feels like LaSalle is truly out of the game because of their press and how hard they play.
And that's kept them in a lot of games. They haven't been up or down 20 a whole lot. 9 wins, 6 of them by single figures.
And they got up on Villanova early in the season and really kind of punched Villanova in the face early, but can they sustain that level of consistency over the course of 40 minutes? That's the big question mark.
That should settle things down for LaSalle. A couple of free throws there. Saul Peary in the scorebook. And now with the make as well, you have the chance to set up the press. Easy break for Dayton. Landers, nice no-look kick, and Watson has the sideline 3.
To watch this team in the half court all day, incredibly unselfish. Outside of great passing, every Dayton player moves to the open area. That's another thing we don't talk about enough.
That goes back to your very first point. Too much time for Landers to think. You've got to get up in their grill, though, if you're LaSalle.
That's right. It's a total breakdown defensively on LaSalle.
12 seconds to shoot. Christian Ray is into the game for the first time. 3 in white at the bottom of the screen.
Great D by Mike Salle. Wow.
4 to shoot. Driving. Hakeem, the freshman, can't finish at the rim. Here's the tempo. Crutcher, Euro step. Made it to the bucket from the free throw line on 1 step. Rebound LaSalle. Hakeem, Day Hakeem. He doesn't care if you're number 20.
Day never cares. He is a superstar in his role off the bench. Could end up being an all-league guard one day in the Atlantic 10.
Dayton's going to run, though. They're happy doing that. And that is a foul on Christian Ray, his first for LaSalle.
Well, it's not just in transition, it's in the half court. And you and I talked about it earlier at shoot-around. This is Dayton's first true road game of the season. And that kind of wears on you. You played neutral site games, home games, but the students aren't here. You're still on Christmas break. It's kind of an odd time. Good time for LaSalle to take advantage.
There is a pretty good crowd, though, here for LaSalle, so they do have an energetic arena. Drive it off the bench for the first time. Dwayne Cohill looking for Toppin, just can't finish through contact. Wanted to call. Hakeem out running straight to the bucket. He's been awesome in the first 6 minutes.
Hakeem's going to challenge Fats Russell for the fastest player with the basketball in the Atlantic 10 from end to end. He is lightning quick.
That's a couple of layups for the freshman out of Washington, D.C. He's got the defense on the ball. Crutcher bounces off.
Crutcher is so smooth. That quick little crossover almost got Hakeem napping, and then just a dime dropping on the baseline. It's not just Crutcher. You got 3 or 4 players on Dayton that can make that type of play.
That's the problem. You have to pick your poison on defense.
It's the problem for opposing teams. It's the great thing for Coach Grant Dayton.
Scott Spencer stripped. And that's a foul going up on Dayton. It is not on Obi Toppin. He was in the area. It would have been his second. Ibi Watson's first.
Coach Grant is irate with that call. So we'll take a look at Crutcher. The little overcommit by LaSalle. No help side defense. That's the third time in this first half. Zero help side defense for LaSalle.
How does Jared Kimbrough play that better? Just stick on Toppin's hip a little bit more?
No, Hakeem can't give up dribble penetration first, right? You have to protect the basket. You can only do so much if you're a post player. And trust me, as a point guard, I don't like giving post players a lot of credit, but Hakeem needs to stay in front of Crutcher and not allow that dribble penetration. Easier said than done, though.
Right. Scott Spencer is a 90% free throw shooter. So LaSalle's back within 2. Spencer goes out. And Shaggy D's in.
It's a great matchup. Hakeem versus Crutcher. This is a great matchup for Hakeem to learn how to play against one of the most efficient point guards in all of college basketball in Jalen Crutcher.
We've got a freshman on the all-conference guy, Jalen Crutcher. Ibi Watson off the bounce, fighting his way through contact, cannot finish, and out of bounds to LaSalle.
Saw just a little bit of a taste of what Ibi Watson can do. He's a very good perimeter shooter, but he can put it on the deck as well and get to the rim. Really like his game. He's essentially a starter that comes off the bench, and that's the luxury that Coach Anthony Grant has, especially if there's any perimeter players in foul trouble.
It's the guy that wins the 6th Man of the Year award, playing 33 minutes a game.
You're probably right. Yeah.
6 minutes and change gone by here in Philadelphia, and that is a carry on Isaiah Dees. It's turnover number 4.
I think if you took a feeling of momentum right now, you'd say, well, Dayton's got to be up by 8 or 10 points. But LaSalle's offense at attacking the rim has been really good.
And it's been quiet in the way that it's kept pace.
When you attack the rim and you get to the free throw line, you can set up your press. You can kind of regain your composure playing against this ultra-efficient Dayton team.
It's clamped down on this end, though. Dayton just 1 for its last 4, 1 for its last 5. Good defense at the rim. Offensive rebound gives Dayton a fresh 20 seconds. Shot clock is at 6. Crutcher. And that's a foul on Jared Kimbrough diving down the lane.
Just love Jalen Crutcher's game. There's no flash. It's all efficiency. His ability to use angles, especially getting into the paint, drawing fouls, and I love it. Let me rephrase that. Coach Anthony Grant loves it when he draws fouls. He's a 90% free throw shooter.
This will be a baseline inbounds.
A little surprised they didn't call that on the shot.
Dayton does get a fresh shot clock. Positives. 13 to shoot. Here's Watson off the screen from Chimanga. Watson with the 3 up top.
It's too much space. Ibi Watson is the Iman Shumpert of college basketball. Can catch and shoot. If you remember, Shumpert had some really great years with the Cavaliers.
Hakeem threw it away. Here comes Dayton. Landers with nowhere to go. Good stick-to-itiveness, and it's Hakeem again. So make a mistake and get back. Let's talk about Watson, though.
Well, it's a kid who spent 2 years at Michigan. You know, that's a Michigan team that actually went to the title game. He knows how to play in big-time environments. That is way too much space. You see how pure Watson's form is. You have to have a hand in his chest. You need to be touching Ibi Watson if he's at the three-point line.
This is one of those games where you need the other guy to sweat on you.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you can't be afraid of a little sweat.
Might not be the cleanliest thing in the world, but go win a game. Good job to keep that in bounds by Watson. Shot clock's down to 10. Mike Salle off the handoff. Good feed in the corner. The 3 short for Cohill, and it's tapped out to LaSalle. Speaking of Ibi Watson, how about that photo? Number 10 in green, Joe Burrow, quarterback of number 1 LSU. They'll play Clemson 2 weeks' time in the national championship game. High school teammates at Athens High.
Joe was a hooper. He was a 3-point shooter. Number 1 pick in the draft, right, Joel? Got to be, right?
I would think so. With Cincinnati?
Spectacular, man.
Ohio would lose its mind.
That's true.
Unless it was Chase Young. 9 seconds here for Dees. Little floater, too strong. Rebounded by Mikesell. Eyes up in transition. Crutcher, great feed, and Chimanga is fouled. That'll put the big man from Nebraska at the line. You can run at 270 pounds. One of the big personalities on this roster. They've got a ton of them. Jordy Chimanga is another.
How enamored were you with Obi Toppin in warm-ups?
He dunked between his legs and did a 360 because why not?
It was like watching the NBA dunk contest. I mean, it was really just putting on a show.
No, literally, he threw a ball, to the roof, waited for it to come down, fielded the bounce, and jammed it.
He can do things that only you can do on a little Tykes hoop.
Thank you.
So that's the highest praise I can give you, Joel.
That's 2 at the line for Chimanga. Also, if you go to the Basketball Hall of Fame, they have the hoops that are 6 feet tall. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's all in the mind. LaSalle with Hakeem right to the rack. He is unafraid tonight. Offensive rebound. You've got to be impressed. But
I foul. I think Coach Ashley Howard would tell you more of that, please. Yes. The more rim attack for LaSalle, the better. You want to get to the free throw line. Dayton's bigs do not want to foul. Those opportunities will be there. You just have to finish them.
That's the second foul on Shaggy Dees. So Ashley Howard has to make the decision to pull out his leading scorer. Just inside 12 minutes to go here in the first half, and we'll see whether or not we get another look at Isaiah Dees here in the first half. Back in with 2 fouls is Rodney Chapman, point guard with the ball for Dayton. Takes it right to the rack, and how about that? Unafraid, and Saul Peary set up to take the charge.
His body control to avoid the charge was really special on that play. Your feet, your torso have to be totally in line to make that kind of play. That's tough.
8 points is the largest lead here for Dayton. So does LaSalle have an answer?
You got to go inside of Croswell. This is this is a perfect time for him.
Spencer turning around off the block. Or go to the Clemson transfer.
That'll work. 10 of LaSalle's 14 points have come in the paint. I mean, that's the recipe for success.
You've got to be physical with Dayton. You've got to make them work, don't you?
Colorado really bothered them in the paint. The physical play in the post does have a tendency to bother Dayton. How about that lob pass to Mikesell?
As you said, physical play sometimes bothers you.
Well, on the defensive end, right? I mean, on the defensive end for Dayton, they don't want to get into a kind of a rock fight with you around the rim. They want to play a little bit more finesse defensively. They're not bad. They're not a bad defensive team. But physical play around the rim does bother them.
It's 4 points now for Mikesell after the bucket on the other side. 8 seconds to shoot. Croswell against Chimanga, giving up some size. 4 to shoot. Hakeem lost the ball. Mikesell does not have numbers. And Dayton wisely slows things down. For a second, Chapman just outside the corner, buries the 3 and stares at the LaSalle bench. Where is swagger?
Not just that, but E.B. Watson, one of the best three-point shooters in the A-10, turned down a good look to get a great look. And that is Dayton basketball to a T.
It's an 11-2 run over the last 3.5 here for Dayton. 11-point ball game. Croswell, can't move Chimanga. Croswell is a good player, and he's 250 pounds.
Yeah.
Put this in perspective of how big Jordy Chimanga is.
Yeah, he's a transfer from Nebraska, and he's an absolute tank on the interior. His feet are getting better. His hands are getting better. And we'll take another look at this Obi Toppin save. He makes great hustle plays. He can shoot the 3, which is incredible at 6'9". He can take you into the post. He has an array of post moves. What Obi Toppin cannot do, I do not know.
Deep 3. Could that be the answer? Around and out for Saul Peary. And LaSalle has gone stone cold from the field.
You can't be afraid to keep shooting those threes if you're LaSalle. That can get you back into the game. They want to shoot threes.
High-low, and with a mismatch down low, Landers draws the foul. That is the first on Dayton Hakeem. Pardon me, his second. And out goes Hakeem. Toppin. Handoff and screens for Crutcher. And look at Toppin establishing, fighting for position.
Should have went right back to him on the inside. Had a mismatch.
Toppin playing angles on the baseline. 2 to shoot and a foul drawn. Ooh. Rodney Chapman, and dangerous because had it gone the other way, it's his third. Kimbrough with the foul. What'd you think about this?
Well, I want to see it again because I thought that was pretty good defense by Kimbrough. It's okay defense. I'm probably good with a no call. It's just a better acting job by Chapman.
I mean, probably invades the cylinder. They're going to go to the table and see whether or not this is 2 free throws or 3 free throws.
Kimbrough invades the cylinder, but it looked like the ball actually hits Kimbrough more than the body. No, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm with that angle, I'm good with the foul call.
Both coaches will use this as a free timeout. Happy birthday, by the way, Jared Kimbrough. That makes it better in the current situation. 20th birthday the other day when he dropped 16 points against Bucknell last time out.
He was 5 of 6 from the field in that game. Ultra efficient. Kimbrough's a great athlete. Leads the team in blocks. Really, really good looking sophomore.
There is what we can review. Eyes on, obviously, the part highlighted in red.
And that's what we're looking at, the 2-point or 3-point try. Yeah, I think this is and we're going to take a look at his feet.
That's a 2.
That's a 2. Clear 2. Clear foul.
Yeah, the point of confusion would be there are 2 3-point lines. The blue one on the inside is the women's line. The back one is the men's line. This will not be an issue next year because the women's line will be moved back as well.
I like the fact that the 3-point line is moved back. People talk about spacing more, but I think that helps a little bit. But to be honest with you, it's just natural. The high school line should be shorter than the college line. The college line should be shorter than the NBA line. There's just a natural progression more. I'm all for it.
So 2 free throws for Rodney Chapman. 60% at the line this year. Rodney Chapman is a fantastic son, by the way. If you notice the mask, he was hit in the face by Muli Sissoko, the freshman out of Mali for Dayton in summer workouts. Actually fractured entirely his right orbital socket. So he's wearing the mask until he told us his mom feels comfortable enough for him to take it off.
Right, exactly. Ultra mature kid. We was really impressed with him this morning at shoot around. Asked him flat out, where do you guys want to be at the end of the year? He said national title. Didn't even hesitate.
And there's a plan to get there. It's not just a pipe dream. They understand what it takes.
And they're still getting better. At 20th in the country, this Dayton team is still getting better.
Ball's slapped out of bounds by Landers, and we'll stay here with 10 seconds to shoot. LaSalle's last 7 trips, 1 for 4, and 3 turnovers. How does Dayton make that dream a reality?
Defense and rebounding have to improve. I think offensively, there's no signs of slowing down, and they're only going to be even more efficient as the season goes on. But if their defense gets better in the interior and they rebound more consistently, I just don't know if there's 20 teams that could even come close to how great this Dayton team could be.
That is a block on Kimbrough. That's the second on the big man. And the ball movement, the spacing of the floor for Dayton.
And see, here's the difficult thing about this Dayton team. You mentioned spacing. Here's the hard part, is I don't know how you scout for that. I don't know how you have your scout team create the type of unselfishness and efficiency that this Dayton team has. They pass the ball really well. They don't turn the ball over. They're a very good 3-point shooting team. It's almost impossible to replicate that in practice. Come NCAA tournament time, who knows what seed they're going to be. They're probably going to be a top 5 seed in some capacity, barring any collapse. How you prep for this Dayton team is just, it would drive you crazy as an assistant coach and head coach trying to scout for them.
And it's a 16-2 run that has just taken all of the air out of what was a lively Tom Gola Arena here in Philadelphia to begin things. 10 seconds to shoot. Beatty in traffic. The bucket just says no. Good reach in, trying to keep that alive. Mike Salle off of Beatty into the backcourt, out of bounds, and a Dayton basketball. But that is hustle, and Ashley Howard will never fault his team for that.
That's what we talked about. No quit in this LaSalle Explorers team. They're trying to get back into it.
When it's all said and done, when that thing reopens next season, so worth the wait. It's a 16-point lead here for Dayton. Most efficient offense in the country. 4 of 5 from 3, 11 of 17 from the floor. Those 4 turnovers, 3 of them came on the first 4 possessions. So things have clicked for the 20th ranked Flyers. Obi Toppin back in, begging for the basketball, and an easy turnaround. You can't let him catch it there.
It's too easy. I just don't know how you guard him if you're shorter than him, because he's going to take you in the post. And if you're slower than him, he's going to take you out to the 3.
What you do is you tell your children one day about the time you guarded that guy in the NBA.
It has to be a collective effort. Well, there's no question.
Peary, step back 3, missed it. Rebound tipped by Landers, and Dayton has it.
One of the problems with LaSalle is they haven't been able to hop in their press. It's been over 6 minutes.
That's the thing about a press. You've got to make the bucket so you can set up in it. Up and under move, off the iron. Jalen Crutcher, the moves for the point guard. I mean, what can anybody on this Dayton team not do? They are so complete, top to bottom. Toppin, good defense on the ball. Tough move for Beatty, and Mike Salle takes it away. Add that to Toppin's resume. And Landers out running. Count that. That's a bucket for Landers, and he'll go to the line.
I tell you, you're not going to move Landers off the rim. He is an absolute beast, especially in transition. Probably the strongest player that Dayton has, absorbs the contact easily with the finish. A little flex at the end.
Scott Spencer might need an orthodontist after that. Just a clean, physical play.
Yeah, I really like Trey Landers. He's a senior. Gets about 10 points per game. Was really, really good in that big win over St. Mary's. Had 15 points, 8 rebounds. Just, you think of all the weapons that Dayton has. You know, how do you emulate that in practice? Just one of the reasons why they're so good. Their unselfishness, yes. Their efficiency, yes. They all love each other. The coaching staff kept talking about that.
3 guys now on the bench with 2 fouls. Actually, Hakeem is back in with 2 fouls. Look at the basketball whip. Landers right back to the hole. Physical and body control.
Well, Obi Toppin should have got the assist for that because of the fact that he sprinted the floor, stretched the defense out, and gave a clear lane to Landers.
We'll play St. Joe's on Sunday, so good weekend to make the trip from Western Ohio for Anthony Grant's fans. Talk about them being a complete team. We mentioned a lot about Obi Toppin, but 5 guys have 6 points to get you to 38 right now.
Yeah, you've had 5 different players lead Dayton in scoring this season. Just anybody can step up and make the right play, make the big shot. It doesn't have to be just Obi Toppin.
Stone in off the bench, the freshman. Nice little turnaround. He's got some skill. When he puts some weight on that frame, game on.
He averaged 25 points a game in high school. I mean, this is a kid who can really fill it up if you give him a lane.
It's a turnover for Jerry Matos into the game for the first time. Brandon Stone weighs 200 pounds at 6'11". He eats 2 meals for every 1 that his teammates do.
But how about the footwork? 6'11" on the drive, reverse pivot, fadeaway. That's tough.
Nice pass.
You gotta shoot that.
Tough in the paint, off of a face. LaSalle did get it back.
The team needs to shoot that. Too unselfish on that play.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Beatty, nice shot fake to step inside Landers. And an offensive rebound for Brandon Stone.
Manufacturing new possessions for LaSalle, such a key. But you got to make Dayton pay right now.
This is Mustafa Jun, a transfer from Western Kentucky. Make your mark when you get an opportunity. It's a 20-point lead now for Dayton. LaSalle at least giving itself some life. And I look at Dayton just go to work. You don't get ahead of yourself. You slow things down, you set up what you want, and then you kiss it high off the glass. Jalen Crutcher, pick and roll city. Hakeem trailing Stone. That's an NBA three. And it's a miss short off the iron. Now Dayton shows its change of speed. Matos with the shot fake. The Dominican to the rim. And missed long. LaSalle's comfortable going up-tempo here. That is a kicked ball. The question is that the best of ideas? Don't get too far over your skis. Do you want to methodically craft your way back into this, or how do you go about it?
It's a catch-22 for this LaSalle team because Coach Ashley Howard does not want them to stop playing hard. He doesn't want them to stop playing aggressive. That's their calling card. You can't be something different at this point in the season.
I thought he had a good analogy after shoot-around. He said, hey, this isn't a Disney movie. There's Jun with the step back. 4 points for Mustafa Jun. You're trying to build a program.
Right.
And in a movie, the first 20 minutes you lose, and then for the rest of it, you start building, and at the end you hold the trophy. You can't do that realistically in an hour and a half. You've got to put the work in, and that's what he's trying to instill, the details in these guys.
Was highly impressed with his, as Crutcher draws a foul, with his ability to be so detailed-oriented in the shoot-around. He's just trying to teach his team how to win consistently. And you've got a mountain to climb right now.
Cole Anthony this season, and what that could or could not mean for North Carolina coming down the stretch.
Well, I think Cole Anthony's a lottery pick, and I think he's leaving. And obviously, you saw in that graphic, Gonzaga, #1 team in the country, just might be the most complete team on both ends of the floor in all of college basketball.
Dayton will have a chance to get to the Final Four along with a team like Gonzaga because of this. They are just so complete. But a box score like that is almost disappointing because, like, you want more from Obi Toppin. Like, only 9 points?
But I don't think Obi Toppin nor Coach Grant would say that.
No, but, like, I'm just, like, as a fan.
Right. You're rooting for the big play. I get it.
Where's my 45 points?
I get it, yeah. He's incredibly humble. We talked to him. I said, how do you block out the noise? And he goes, you know what? I just want to hoop.
There's Toppin. How about the feed up ahead? Watson gets blocked. Good trail by Spencer. But Obi Toppin, the rebound and the incredible foresight to see Watson streaking.
Left-handed full-court pass. He's a righty. A left-handed full-court pass. That kind of player making that kind of play. Wow.
That's a moving screen on Chimanga.
An offensive foul called on Dayton's number 32, Jordan Chimanga.
You got to remember, Obi's 6'9". He was a guard in high school. He has these great backcourt type of skills that make him just so difficult to guard, because if you want to play the game slow, he can make great plays in the half court. If you want to run up and down, Obi Toppin is ready to gazelle you all the way up the court.
I laughed when you asked him about how he blocks out the noise, because he said, I don't watch a lot of sports. He watches the blacklist.
That's it.
That's what he does.
Yeah, I like to play basketball and watch the blacklist. I mean, it's just a really grounded, down-to-earth kid.
Deep three. Saul Peary with 7 on the shot clock. And there's the rebound again by Obi Toppin. And here's those guard skills.
Come on,
Toppin carried.
Called on Dayton Explorers basketball.
Can you give him a pass on that one just
for you, right? I can tell it's for you. You have to remember, too, Obi Toppin is an older sophomore. He went to prep school after his senior year of high school, and then he academically redshirted his freshman year. So his freshman year was essentially like he was a late sophomore bloomer. And
he's a senior in age.
It's exactly right. Yeah, and you get the sense of his maturity as a sophomore because of the fact that he's had a little extra time to figure out who he is as a player. 15 to shoot for LaSalle. Spencer in deep and stuck. The jump ball stays here on the wedgie.
It'll be 20 seconds on the shot clock for LaSalle. The Explorers just 28% from the field. They have not hit a three. 35% from three as a team. Not enough touches for Croswell, in my opinion. I would just want to go eat him in the post. Just continue to feed him. Let him go to work. There you go. Finally do, dragging him down to the baseline. and forcing Toppin to defend on the block.
He can do that. Because of the fact LaSalle's a good three-point shooting team, Dayton doesn't necessarily want to double Croswell in the post. Croswell can bully a lot of front court players if he wants to, but he has to want to, and they have to look for it.
Nice pass inside the Landers. Obi Toppin.
It's unbelievable.
Get out.
He's tailor-made for the NBA. The way the NBA is about pace and space, and that big guys that can make plays with the ball. I mean, you might see Obi Toppin handling the ball in a ball screen in the NBA one day. I mean, he's that gifted.
There's 20 scouts plus here tonight, and Landers. There's a foul on LaSalle.
That's a pass that some of the best point guards in college basketball can't make. That quick touch, no-look pass at the top of the key. Some of that stuff you can't teach.
Dayton plus 22 here. 70 seconds left to go in the first half. They are a top 20 team. They have played like it. And how about the hands by me there, Mike?
Great catch, Joel. I mean, that was really just... You know, Dayton, we talk about Dayton being ultra efficient. That was ultra efficient, buddy. Man, I tell you. Just a great show of athleticism on your part.
If anybody from the Dayton Dragons organization is watching, I am available. I was a 100 hitter in high school. That's a foul on Croswell. Look at this.
Watch the play here.
Incredible.
Two hands. You caught it, and then you spun it as if, yeah, that's what I do. I'm really good at catching the basketball.
See, I wore glasses as a kid, so when objects came to your face, you had to be really good at deflecting. Otherwise, it's an expensive mistake. Anyway, Obi Toppin at the free throw line now has 10 points. And the righty gets both. So 11 in the first half for Obi Toppin, the sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York.
Last minute of play in the first half.
Inside a minute here for LaSalle. Bounce pass, Croswell. Good wait and go. Good finish off the block for Croswell to get Toppin in the air.
I just think that's the formula, right? Score around the rim. It allows you to set up your press. You can chip away at this lead, but you've got to commit to that formula.
Dayton with only 7 turnovers, 3 of them on the first 4 possessions. So the press hasn't been able to A, set up, and then B, take hold at all.
And I'm less worried about LaSalle scoring, but their on-ball defense has not been good. There's been way too much dribble penetration by Dayton, as we're getting a good case of it right here.
3 seconds to shoot on a yo-yo. Crutcher, good kick out. Toppin. That does not count, but Obi Toppin in the corner from 3. Why not?
You know why that's such a great... You get the turnover. I get it. It's a turnover. But Obi Toppin sprinting to the corner, to the open place at 6'9", and we talked about his athleticism, but his basketball IQ is really something special as well.
And hitting a fadeaway 3.
Not too bad.
13 seconds here for LaSalle. Christian Ray, the freshman, going to work and getting rejected. 4 seconds. Croswell, and that's a charge and a tough foul to take for Croswell. His second with just 2 seconds left here in the half.
And I love this right now. Dayton
Miller was able to do before him was help everyone else realize what he already knew as an alum.
Yep, that's exactly right. And he's just taking Dayton to a place that I think people knew that it was going to happen eventually. I just don't think they knew it was going to happen this quick.
They go to Watson. 1 second. Watson knew the time. He almost dunked at the buzzer. Ibi Watson. That is understanding pacing. Whew.
That might have been, I probably would have just left, Joel, because that was 46 points. If you're wondering if that's good, that's really good, folks.
And only 4 of 5 from 3. Not the 4 part, the 5 part. They haven't taken a ton. They haven't needed to.
If you're looking at LaSalle, half of their points have come in the paint, so that's good. But at the same token, they're just not getting enough looks at the rim.
It's a Dayton basketball to begin here in the second half. And it's Obi Toppin, the versatility, the handles, but also the turnover.
Perfect way to start the half if you're LaSalle. Remember, and I'm not trying to sound cliche, LaSalle never feels like they're out of the game because of how hard they play. Because if they get a couple buckets in a row, they set up their press. This is a team that thrives off of momentum from the press.
And a team that defensively is remarkably better than where it was a year ago.
That's correct. Very good.
They've shaved 12 points per game off their defensive output. Here's Spencer, 3 straight on, missing long. Croswell fighting for the rebound, but outnumbered, and Dayton has it. And LaSalle happens to be the #1 defense statistically in the A-10 at this point. There's a 3 off the sideline. Chapman with the rebound, Obi Toppin. Out to Crutcher, 3 on the wing. Right back to it, second assist for Obi Toppin. And Jalen Crutcher, just another weapon.
LaSalle's defense is really good, but their rebounding is not. They have one of the worst defensive rebounding percentages in the Atlantic 10 because they just give up too many looks.
Croswell forcing it in against Toppin. And if there is one weakness, Croswell has done that now 4 times. If I'm the point guard for LaSalle, I want to run action for Croswell every single time. Chapman finishing through contact like a conquering gladiator, just stared down the fallen Scott Spencer as well. Dees stripped, went through the spin cycle, and Chapman took the ball. That was tipped, and it will stay here with Dayton.
Pretty easy, pretty obvious to say you can't trade buckets with Dayton. You have to find some way to manufacture multiple stops in a row. Then you have to convert those stops on the other end. You don't have to make a big 3. You don't have to have a monster play. You just consistently chip away and feed Croswell. Good things will happen.
What a battle to it. Spencer actually swatted it to Dayton. Toppin a 3, around and out. Landers the rebound and the putback. And that's a back-breaking swing if you're LaSalle.
Yeah, because it was shaping up to be a pretty good defensive possession for LaSalle. Landers has been fantastic this evening.
Largest lead of the game here for Dayton. Shaggy Dees with the kiss. Rebounded and put back in by Croswell. Maybe too little too late, but you are looking at an all-conference performer in the A-10 there.
Absolutely. Croswell was fantastic last season. Just really efficient, one of the top field goal percentage players in the A-10, and it's too easy. It's too easy. You're going to continue to trade buckets, and I'll tell you right now, one of the things that I love, Coach Grant is really upset with his Dayton team and their defense.
Obi Toppin now with 13 points and the block. That'll get you going on defense. Dayton can't keep it in bounds, though. I mean, the man is in a power stance over there. Here's the block.
That's textbook defense by Landers. He's tremendous. Just a perfect senior leader for your team.
I mean, he could catch passes from Joe Burrow if he can stay in bounds like that. E.B. Watson could hook him up.
I feel like Joe Burrow can throw a touchdown pass to just about anybody. He can throw a touchdown pass to you, Joe.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I can get open.
So you catch that ball going out of bounds there.
Nice feed. Croswell, 12 points now in the game. Half of that in the first 3 minutes of the second half.
Keep feeding the big fella.
There's a steal. Christian Ray outrunning, and the layup. That's his first bucket. Now you're still down. But piece by piece here, and I have to imagine Ashley Howard told his guys, first and foremost, just go win the second half.
Searching for energy, right? Christian Ray has been a spark off the bench for LaSalle all season, and he's just shown it right there. He has the ability to make big plays in the full court.
And that's a charge. Little things.
It's 3 good plays in a row for the Explorers. It's all you just need a little momentum. You want the crowd to get into it. You want to feel confidence. And this is the type of plays that can really get you going. You can see the feed to Croswell. Just an excellent pass by Ray. I love Christian Ray's game. He averages about 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Second on the team in offensive rebounds, Christian Ray.
D's missing the high 3. Landers the rebound. Eyes up for Crutcher in transition. Obi Toppin calling for it as the last man down the floor. Feed the big man the ball. High-low. Toppin! Two-hand jam. Dunk number 129 in in his year-and-a-half career.
Design set play. That was an excellent seal by Obi Toppin. If you watch his ability to seal the defender, that's what gets the lob.
You want to show that again, we can talk about the seal and show that. It's up to you. It's fine.
Croswell jarred up, Toppin with the steal. Here comes Chapman. Doesn't have numbers, but he does have an open Mike Salle with a more open Obi Toppin. Obadiah Toppin, you get in this house right now.
Well, Joel, I've been waiting. He's everything that we thought he was going to be advertised, and just love his game.
7 of 8 from the floor, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 dunks, and the free throw to top it all off. Now 18 points for Toppin off of his 31-point, 10-dunk school record performance against North Florida on Monday night. I don't know how you follow that up.
No, I don't. And let's be really picky on Obi Toppin's game. The one thing that I'd like to see him improve on is actually his free throw shooting. He's only a 65% free throw shooter. And he's got this beautiful stroke. He's got a great three-point shot. If he's above 75% from the line, I mean, he's going to average 28 a game. Is the fact that he gets fouled so often because of how aggressive he plays.
Foul on Trey Landers, his second. So Isaiah Dees, who is 70% at the free throw line. And how about this? That's the first point for Isaiah Dees. He is LaSalle's leading scorer at just under 12 a game.
He's streaky. He has a 31-point performance versus Morgan State.
He had 17 straight points in the game.
He had 3 threes in 58 seconds.
You ever gone on a 17-0 individual run?
Only in the backyard by myself, Joel.
Crutcher the kick out, and Dayton can set here. 26-point lead with the lob, and Toppin will go to the free throw line. The foul is on Scott Spencer. 0-star. I didn't know there was a such thing. Like, don't you start with 1? Everybody's a 1-star?
Oh, no, there are absolutely 0 stars, Yeah, I started as 0-star recruit.
He is the 5th-ranked prospect, according to CBSSports.com. 7th-ranked player in the country this year, according to Ken Palm.
Yeah, he's a lottery pick. I mean, we talked about it earlier. There's over 20 NBA scouts in attendance tonight. I mean, he's been absolutely terrific.
He'll be on the list next time he plays in a Black Ops game in New York City.
That's right. How crazy was that story? He was Obi Toppin earlier was telling us a story about the Black Ops pickup game during the summer is the stuff of legends. Just, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony. It's this invitation-only VIP pickup game. And Obi Toppin's like, yeah, I was invited to it and I showed up. And the guy at the door was like, nah, man, you can't get in. And he says, what do you mean? He told me to walk in. And so Chris Brinkley, a famed NBA trainer, had to come out and bring him in. And actually, Obi Toppin played great in that pickup game, turned a lot of heads. I still love the story. I told it earlier, but the fact that he said he started to start getting noticed when he was playing pickup in the park in high school. And they said, hey, you know what? You might have a chance to play Division II one day. Well, looks like we got ourselves a lottery pick.
That's a foul on Dees. That's his 3rd foul. Division II of, like, the All-NBA team.
Right. It is strange. You don't see those type of growth spurts. I mean, okay, how was he a 0-star recruit? If this is the first time you're hearing this,
he was 6'2".
He was 6'2", and then he jumped up to 6'5", and then all of a sudden he's 6'9". He's got this guard skills in a post player's body.
There was a running layup there for Mike Salle. Dayton continues to lay it on, continues to play with tempo. Anthony Grant foot on the gas here. He knows what he's got. And he knows they can't quit. Be the best you every minute you're on the floor. Kick out, Hakeem with 7 seconds to shoot. It's Dees for 3. That's down. And Chapman left Dees alone on the wing, pointed to his chest immediately and said, hey, that's my bad, because that's what Anthony Grant wants to see his guys shore up.
Yeah, it's a first 3-point basket. And if there's a guy to get hot, it's Dees. He's very streaky, but when he gets rolling, can really fill it up.
3 for Chapman to answer. trying to atone for his prior sin there.
Yeah, that was a gift because LaSalle completely broke down defensively.
Dees a turnover in the lane, fighting for it. Landers to the ground, and Anthony Grant applauding on the bench for the Dayton Flyers. Fighting big, up nearly 30 on the road. That kind of night for Ashley Howard.
I had ever seen just an unbelievable set play by Jay Wright. I'm sure Ashley Howard drew that up too.
He'll tell you he did.
Absolutely.
Well, he's a humble guy, unless it's true.
I enjoyed watching him shoot around, him really coaching his team up, trying to teach them. He's trying to teach them what it takes to be a winning team. And it starts with the little things. It's the details at shoot around, being in the stance. All the attention to the detail leads into you being competitive and winning big games.
Crutcher into traffic, and there's a foul. That's on Brandon Stone. That is his first. Ashley Howard, the turnaround from his first season to his second season. And that comes to the little things. Teaching the details, and you start to learn them the second time through.
Best start since the 2012-13 season. That actually year that they were an at-large. LaSalle was an at-large bid that season. I think Ashley Howard's going to do a really, really good job. You know, he's got 8 players from Pennsylvania. He knows the area. He's going to recruit really well.
He is this area.
He is this area. That's exactly right. And, you know, you asked him a really good question, too. You know, you talked about, you know, why did you decide to use the press? And I loved his answer because that's what makes a great coach. He goes, I didn't grow up in a pressing culture. You know, I didn't learn just the press all the time when I was an assistant coach. He said, but that's what I felt would give us the best chance to win. His coaching actually adapted to the players that he had on his roster. That's a sign of a true coach. He's not trying to force feed a system that's not going to work.
Baseline fadeaway there for Scott Spencer. The other thing he said was it forces his team to play hard. So it's not me telling you to play hard. You have to, because the way we play demands it.
When you inherit a culture that's not used to winning, you have to remind them that playing hard is a skill.
Here's Toppin. I thought that was going to turn into a monster jam when he hooked that dribble.
Right.
Hakeem in the lane. I like Dayton Hakeem. He misses, Toppin the rebound. Here comes E.B. Watson setting up to take the charge. Instead, it'll be a block on Scott Spencer. Excuse me, no, he got that call. That is a charge on Dayton. Little things.
Little things that get you back into the game. Here's what here's what you want to feel as if you're LaSalle. You want to feel as if you've got a chance to make a comeback. And it doesn't happen in one shot. It doesn't happen in one defensive play. You've got to chip away with the little things. Take charges, and I would continue to attack the rim. Your three-point shot isn't falling. Dayton's guarding the three-point line really well. Get to the rim, make something happen. It's a great play. You said that's your guy, Joel Hakeem. He's going to be really good.
It's a free throw line jumper for Hakeem, now 6 points. And LaSalle was shooting 50% here in the second half, after it shot sub 30% in the first half. So it's run better offense. It's gotten better looks. E.B. Watson with the hesitation and the kiss off the top of the box.
So smooth. That's what I said. I asked Coach Anthony Grant, how would you describe E.B. Watson's game? This is, the dude is smooth. He's just really, really efficient with the ball.
Spencer's a transfer from Clemson out to the rookie Stone, and an air ball from the 6'11" big man. That didn't look good, but he can shoot. That's a block on LaSalle. Giving up your body, though, down almost 30 points. That's all Ashley Howard can see at this point. You're watching to that. Your strengths have to all come out ready to play. And the defense for LaSalle, #1 in the Atlantic 10 this year. Dayton shooting 64%. So your strength also hasn't shown up the way you needed it to.
I thought Croswell would also have a big game, and he's played pretty well. But I kind of feel like they've just gone away from him.
Up and under, Mikesell out of the timeout. A quiet 11 points for Ryan Mikesell, but that is the complete cast of characters for the Dayton Flyers.
A quiet 11 points for Mikesell is exactly who Mikesell is. He never tries to get a stat. everything he does is about being perfect inside of a possession. His basketball IQ is through the roof.
Good kick to the corner. Baseline drive, intercepted on a pass in the paint. Lob up ahead, look out, Watson, one-arm jam. And then just smoothly gets back on defense.
So I knew Dayton was good in transition. I just didn't think that they would be outrunning a very fast LaSalle team.
And they've wanted to. I mean, they have upped to the tempo.
Well, they take what the defense gives them. Sure. I mean, that's a sign of a really efficient team. If you want to slow it down, sure, we'll run our offense. If you're going to give us something in the fast break, we'll take that too.
Hakeem fighting before depositing the basketball. 8 points for Allende Hakeem. That was one-on-one basketball. That was one guy making a play.
It's kind of where I'd like to see Hakeem make a big play on the defensive end too.
Into traffic. Layup is short, and that's a foul on LaSalle. And hopefully Crutcher's okay here. That's on Mustafa Jung, the first on the Western Kentucky grad transfer. "25 points off turnovers for Dayton, just like that.
But that pass, I mean, you know how hard that pass is to make, Jalen Crutcher? You've got to put it in a perfect position, throwing it ahead in a bounce pass. Usually that's a coaching no-no. You don't want to throw ahead with a bounce pass. Jalen Crutcher, smooth.
First free throw good for a 90% free throw shooter. Dayton will be, when this game is over, the #1 team in the country in assists. They were 1/10 of one assist behind Michigan State before the game, and they've got 19 with a quarter to go. Both are good for Crutcher. And
Dayton's got 25 points off of 13 turnovers. You mentioned it briefly before. That is almost impossible to be that efficient for 13 turnovers. I mean, it's impressive.
Like, without going back, do the simple math, there's probably a 3 in there somewhere. They've scored off of all but what?
That's right.
3 turnovers?
That's right.
If that. Beatty, step back. How about the way he just lost Chimunga? Misses the shot. Good little move, though. 31 points is the largest lead here for Dayton. Flyers will stay here the rest of the weekend. They take on St. Joe's next. Watson missing off the wing. St. Joe's is at Richmond tonight. This is Anthony Grant, though, and how basketball-focused they are. Croswell with the kick out. Good shot fake for Hakeem, and he draws a foul. Said, what are you going to do? You don't play again until Sunday, so right. All day Friday, all day Saturday. Yeah, you've got practice, but how else do you kill time? Do you go to Independence Hall? Like, do you take in some sort of the sights? No. We're gonna practice. We're gonna watch film.
Yeah,
and we're gonna win a game.
He did say, though, that if the Sixers were in town, he would consider taking the team to a 76ers game.
I believe they're in Houston. Played in Indianapolis on Tuesday. 5 seconds to shoot. Here's Ray rising. 3-pointer for Christian Ray on the wing. That's his second bucket. The freshman who you like. There's some pieces here for LaSalle.
They're gonna be a force in the A-10 in the years to come, especially when they figure out how to be efficient inside of the full court press. I do like Christian Ray's game. Just a freshman, 6'6". Been a huge spark off the bench for the Explorers. Great stroke. This is a kid who scored over 2,000 points in high school, an elite score coming out of high school.
That was the 7th team foul on LaSalle. So 1-1 for Dwayne Cohill here. He was also phenomenal coming out of high school. And misses the front end. Cohill scored 2,000 high school points.
Yeah, 4-star recruit.
His time will come. There's a foul on the floor against Dayton. It's on Cohill. Speak of the devil, his first.
Cohill played about 15 minutes a game as a freshman. He won Dayton's Best Defender Award last season. Excellent on-ball defender. So many weapons, this Flyers team.
It's kind of annoying if you're an opponent. Peary, good kick to him. And the rebound's tipped out of bounds. But that's Tremendous recruiting by Anthony Grant.
That's right.
And it's a community that cares about its basketball team.
It is a rabid college basketball base.
You legitimately,
rabid.
you cannot buy a ticket to UD Arena for the remainder of the season.
Nine home games left, all sold out, right?
Incredible.
Pretty cool.
In a day and age when people aren't going to games anymore. It's all on television.
Now, it helps you when you don't have football, you're the main sport. You know, from a marketing budget standpoint, everything gets poured into hoops. But, you know, why wouldn't you want to watch this team? This is a Final Four caliber team.
Ray, coast to coast. Christian Ray off the missed three. Sometimes long misses turn into layups on the other end.
And I guarantee you mentioned how basketball-focused Coach Grant is. I guarantee you that play is on the film session tomorrow. Guaranteed.
And many more to come over the next 8 minutes. Good and not so. It will be nitpicky.
So Dayton is the best team in the Atlantic 10, but I don't think I can figure out who the next 3 or 4 are best teams exactly in the A-10. You know, you talk about VCU. I just have a lot of concerns with this VCU team. Their defense is good. Their offense has been really struggling. Marcus Evans has not been playing well for VCU. Rhode Island's offense is really good. Their defense is kind of suspect at times. And you have a team like St. Louis who is, they're probably the most physical team in the Atlantic 10. I tell you, that actually might be the team that could give Dayton the most trouble is St. Louis because of how physical they play on the defensive end.
Here's a three, Crutcher from NBA range short. And the rebound trickles all out to Jared Kimbrough. Here's Hakeem, blocked against the glass with a whistle. Take a timeout. We'll talk more big picture about the Atlantic 10 and who could give Dayton the best run for their money.
Overtime versus Kansas. Jalen Crutcher, Obi Toppin, Trey Landers. Three-headed monster for Dayton getting it done.
They call him the Clutcher, Jalen Crutcher, because of that three-pointer against Kansas that sent that game to overtime in Maui. And then he also had what would have been the game-winning assist to Obi Toppin before Colorado won at the buzzer in Chicago not that long ago. You want the ball in his hands when times are tight, as Dede Hakeem hits at the free throw line.
Preseason All-10 for a reason.
And Anthony Grant's first recruit at Dayton. That's a pretty fine keystone. Looking inside, Shimanga, the transfer from Nebraska with the jump stop and the hook, but he missed short. Rebounded by Shaggy Dees. Three in transition and off the bank. Didn't draw it up that way, still counts.
That's a shot for Dees that he could make 4 or 5 of them in the next minute or two if you're not careful.
Toppin went to dunk, missed a little bit off. Landers, a little short. Rebounded by Watson. Shimanga hook shot, tip back. No bucket in the cylinder. Trey Landers, the hustle though, the fact that that entire sequence happened is a testament to who Dayton is, up by more than 30.
It is, and if you see LaSalle, you kind of just, it almost like they didn't even care that possession. They're just watching the basketball. Nobody sprinted out to talk.
I'll do math later, by the way, but almost 30.
You were a communications major, Joe, as was I. I mean, quick math for us is
really
not,
hard.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's why I don't gamble in Vegas.
Nice move by Shaggy Dees. You saw it on the outside, you see it on the inside. He's a guy that can do some things for you. Senior out of Brooklyn, New York.
Dees has improved his shot essentially every single year. Went from 29% as a sophomore to 35% last season. Shoots 37% from 3 this season. Streaky.
Toppin, phenomenal pass. Shimanga.
Come on.
Rim rock.
Come on. 5th pick, 6th pick. I'll tell you right now, this is I know that I'm getting caught up in the moment here, and I get it. But if you ask me who would I pick right now between Obi Toppin and James Wiseman, I'm picking Obi Toppin. I think he has a better skill set offensively than James Wiseman does. I think James Wiseman is the better defender, but I think Obi Toppin gives you just about everything and anything you want.
Look at him run the break. Up ahead to Landers, who's blocked. Way to stay with it, Saul Peary. But Toppin, just take that for what it is, what an NBA scout will look at. I mean, stop it.
Doesn't stop playing. He never stops playing. You can tell that Obi Toppin plays so hard because it feels like he has great joy when he's out there. He's always looking to make a play for his team, whether that's a dunk for himself or a steal or a pass. He doesn't just, this is important, he doesn't just run the floor well, he sprints every possession. And that doesn't just lead into points for him, it opens up three-point shooting for Dayton because everybody gets sucked into the rim for Obi.
That's a goaltend, so it will count. And he has grown his game enough to the point where he is showcasing himself, but he's doing it within the confines of what Dayton needs him to do to be successful as a team. And those are two competing entities that have worked very well this year for the Flyers. Hakeem again gets in deep. Stone seeing some moves off the bounce from the big fella. Just can't finish at the rim. Toppin again runs the break.
I just think his game fits the NBA style of play so well. You know what's scary is the Warriors are going to have one of the top picks in the draft. And can you imagine Toppin with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, D'Angelo Russell running pick and rolls with him?
Yeah, his name's Kevin Durant.
Ooh, man.
He was doing it for the last couple of years.
Well, he's not. Yeah. Not quite Kevin Durant, but that is, I mean, that's a team dangerous.
Scouts in attendance. 20, more than 20 of them into Croswell. And that's a push in the back on Chimanga.
Saw former Georgia Tech head coach Paul Hewitt in attendance. He's a regional scout for the Los Angeles Clippers.
There are 13 teams in attendance, more than 20 scouts.
There's the legend Paul Hewitt. Those great years at Georgia Tech.
Coached in a national title game.
Played against, when I was at NC State, played against one of those Georgia Tech teams. We did not win. They were really good.
Like sneaky good.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I looked at a list of the guys that have come out of Georgia Tech. I'm like, shame on me. But I just had this moment where...
Wish you would have had it?
Okay, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost intercepted. Stone near midcourt. Now it is intercepted. Croswell. Hakeem wants three. Missing long, and Stone got undercut and hits the deck hard off the rebound. That's a foul on Chimanga. That is 3 on the Canadian. A lot of emotion in Dayton. But the flop,
and that's what ends up leading to the alley-oop and the easy dunk for Mr. Toppin.
Obi Toppin, you said you might take him over James Wiseman if you had a high pick in the draft.
I think depending on the team, yes, because James Wiseman, he's a borderline #1 pick, and I get it, and he's younger. He's younger than Obi Toppin, but if you're asking me what player fits the NBA style best, I think that's Obi Toppin.
Brandon Stone missing the free throw. Gets Dayton back into its offensive flow here. Somewhere there's going to be a scout agreeing with you, arguing in a boardroom.
Well, he's going to be a lottery pick, I think regardless. There's plenty of time left to be played. I'm not belittling James Wiseman's talent. I don't want Gary Parrish to be all upset at me. Because James Wiseman is a potential #1 pick, and he's tremendous. But if you're asking me to compare the skill sets for the NBA game, I think Obi Toppin has the edge because of his ability to get out in transition, take guys off the dribble, play inside and out.
Here's Hakeem into Croswell. Went to dunk, did not finish. Tip back, no. Croswell, no. And Cohill literally leaves the arena trying to save that. If we wind up on the Ion College basketball podcast being made fun of for taking Obi Toppin over James Wiseman, I'm calling you out.
It'll be the first time for the Ion College basketball podcast for me. I mean, have me on the podcast, cowards.
Matt Norlander, line 2. Three in the corner.
They're the best. They're really, really, really good at what they do.
5 shots that possession for LaSalle. Coming up empty. Explorers just 35% from the floor today. Spencer had the last look from 3. Got some of the walk-ons in for Dayton now. Christian Wilson, number 53 in red, has entered the game. Top of your screen. Here's Cohill. Drives on Spencer, and as the shot clock expires, he misses long. Croswell, we have not talked a ton about him, but again, he runs the transition. Versatile big man, and Stone.
So Croswell is just a sophomore. I mean, he almost averages a double-double. He's getting 10 and 7 a game. He's super efficient. He leads the Atlantic 10 in field goal percentage. He was the MVP of the Gulf Coast Showcase.
Offensive rebounder du jour.
Yeah, he's top 10 in the A-10 in offensive rebounds as well. I mean, he's only going to get better. For me, it's his motor. When his motor matches his skill set, he could end up being one of the top players in the Atlantic 10. He's that skilled.
Around and out for Matos. Spencer with the shot fake. Drive it, blocked. Shamunga. That guy was 300 pounds as a teenager. He's cut it down to about 268, but okay.
And he's still kind of recovering from a knee injury as well.
And those go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Anthony Grant thinking, hey, if we can shave his weight down a bit, and he's done a tremendous job getting in shape, take some pressure off those knees, he can play more.
And it helps from conditioning, too, because he's such an important piece to this team, especially if Obi Toppin ever gets in foul trouble. He's the next guy up in the front court.
And a huge personality. They played, obviously, in the Maui Invitational. Here's Hakeem battling with Chapman. Lost in the paint, and that's out of bounds off of Brandon Stone. When you arrive in Hawaii and you arrive at the tournament, everyone gives you a flower lei. And Shamunga got one from each of the people handing one out. He had like 6 stacked up on his neck. How about Dayton's 3 in the preseason poll?
Actually, the more frustrating thing to look at this preseason poll is I don't know what's going on with Davidson. I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
They have what we thought was the best backcourt in the Atlantic 10 coming into this season. Kellen Grady and Goodmanson. They just have not been able to put the pieces together. I thought Davidson was going to be one of those teams that was going to receive votes in the top 25 throughout the course of the season, but just have not played well. Open the door for teams like Rhode Island, St. Louis, Duquesne to really kind of move into that top 4.
Duquesne was in Jerry Palm's field at the beginning of December before they took those last 2 losses. Little step back, Cohill rebounded, Shamunga can't finish through Brandon Stone.
That loss to Marshall for Duquesne really hurt them.
Balls out of bounds. It'll remain Explorers basketball.
Interesting to see how things pan out here through the A-10.
Okay.
Inside a minute to go. Dayton looking at its largest margin of victory all time in this building here at Tom Gola Arena. And that's a reach-in foul on Hakeem, and then good sportsmanship. He'll go help pick up Cohill. 15 games they've played here. This will be the largest margin of victory they've ever had.
Just from start to finish, an impressive Dayton team. Everything they do is with a purpose. Every play that they make is ultra efficient, and the unselfishness, Joel, has been, I mean, it's been a long time. It kind of reminded me of that national championship team from Villanova that Ashley Howard was an assistant coach on. There's a lot of that Villanova team in this Dayton Flyers squad.
Cohill 1-1 at the line, hits the first and the second. It'll be interesting. I said before the game, depending on the matchups, you could make a Final Four type run as Jared Becker, the freshman from Moeller High School in Cincinnati, checks in. You see this team in person?
Yeah.
I don't know if the matchups matter as much. They obviously do in March. But, I mean, they just might be that good enough that it don't matter.
I also think it benefits that there's not 5 or 6 just unbelievably great teams. There's so much parity in this season of college basketball that a team like Dayton, I mean, it doesn't matter what, you know, who they're playing against. I don't know how you slow this offense down.
No one did tonight. Dayton 84 points. Hit its average right on the head. And its first win.